Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight.
Hello and welcome along to Bangkok ChitChat Spotlight, and our guest today used to be an English pro footballer. He's a football academy entrepreneur here in Thailand and is currently head of football at Harrow International School. Would you please welcome Darren Jackson? Yay!
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, Darren.
Cool.
Sit yourself down, mate.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Wow, it's been a while since I saw you. Okay, well, let's get stuck into it. We're going to do it in two halves. We're going to talk about his football experience in England and how he became one, etc. And then when he came to Thailand, his life here in Thailand. So how old were you when you fell in love with football?
I don't really remember how young I was. All I remember is I was playing football right from an early age. But I do remember around about 10, 11 years old, I asked my father if I wanted to play for a team. And I remember getting the newspaper out and there was a classified ad to a team just starting up.
All right.
So my father rang the manager and said, I've got a son, can he go and play? And fortunately, it was quite a good team.
Where was this?
In Bristol.
All right, okay.
Were you born in Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol boy.
Yeah, I lived most of my young life in Bristol then. All right then, so you started playing for a team. Your school didn't, or you didn't have a football team in your school?
Yeah, we had school teams. But
I
think to get spotted, you needed to go outside of school teams, club teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we started playing for the school, club teams. And then around about 14, 15, started playing for better teams, and that's when you started.
So how did you go from one team to a better team? Do they scout on that level or not?
Different ways. I mean, sometimes it was my friend who played for another team said, "Hey, look, do you want to come?" Yeah. And then another one was a parent. But that's my but that's my father.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, would you like your son to come play?"
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the network of how it was done.
Question is, were you a big young kid?
No, I was quite small. I was fast as well. I played
fast.
Yeah, I know.
What did they feed you?
I don't know, but yeah, I was playing left wing, small, skinny, and quite fast. But then as I got older, I kind of got slower and slower and moved.
Got older.
Backwards.
You're talking about 18. So what was your? All right. Let's leave it there and say you've obviously played for, and we'll talk about it now, some Premiership clubs. When did you make that big leap into the bigger, literally the bigger leagues?
I think clubs start looking at you around about 15 years old.
Scouts?
Yeah, scouts. They started to come, and my first trial was at Man United.
How did that? Did you get a letter in the post? You have been invited to a trial, or did someone give a Rolex to your mum and dad? And there's your car outside.
I had a letter.
You had a letter?
Yeah, and it was handwritten it was an old scout, and I've still got it at home.
Oh, yeah.
And I went up, it was my very first trial, I think about 14, 15, went up to Manchester.
Did they hold the trial at Carrington or where?
Yeah, it was at Carrington, and then we trained there, and to be honest with you, I had the worst trial of my life because I was from the West Country. I went up there, I knew nobody, they were all Northerners, they kept themselves to themselves. And
so some of the players that you were trialling with knew each other? Yeah,
we were at the Man United training ground, and Mark Hughes walked past. He just had a shower and he had a towel.
Mark Hughes, ladies and gentlemen.
He had a towel wrapped round, so and he asked me. He'd just come out the shower, and we were.
Oh, you were in the changing room.
Yeah, we were around the area.
What do you think? He came out onto the pitch?
Yes, that's what I was saying. It was kind of the way he explained it. Come on, Darren, get it together now.
Come on, boys.
It was a restaurant kind of area, and anyway, he wanted to use the phone, and it was back then. You know, you had to put money in the telephones. It's that long ago. So he asked me for 10 pence. So Mark Hughes, to this day, still hasn't paid me that 10 pence back.
Mark,
yeah.
If you're listening.
That'd have been lots of sweet.
You owe me 10 pence.
Well, plus, how many years ago was that? That's worth at least £100,000 now.
So anyway, I had the trial, and then at the end of the trial, they take you to Old Trafford, and you're in one of the VIP boxes. And you have a steak dinner and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, 15?
Yeah, 15.
Did we just want a hamburger or something?
No, you're in Old Trafford.
Where's your mustard, please?
Andrew, you missed the point.
So anyway,
you're in Old Trafford. It's just about what you eat.
So I went there and we were having a dinner, and the scout was with me at the time. So he came up and he kind of whispered in my ear. He said to me, look, you see the serviettes there, but everything had a Man United logo on, the cutlery, everything. He said, take some serviettes home with you.
Oh, great.
Take
What, with the paper? Or?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Because you ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's what it was.
Oh, I didn't want to
just
spoil
ruined
your
my
stuff. I'm
first
sorry, mate.
Yeah. He
So,
said, take as much souvenirs as you possibly can. I kind of looked at him and said, yeah, I'm not coming back, am I?
I think it's unfair. The way I see these trials, is it just like 90 minutes, show your best, if you're no good, you're out, or is it over 2 or 3 days? I mean, how long are these trials?
It's over I think 2 or 3 days, but it's a conveyor belt. You know, you open one door, you close the other door, kids come in, they go out, and it's
a bit
just
like Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one after another.
yeah.
Was it sold? So how did you feel after that? Do you think, oh God, you know, really depressed, or oh well, that's the way it goes? Or?
Kind of couldn't wait to get out of there because
The nerves.
yeah,
first
I was
start,
so
right?
nervous. It's the first trial I ever went, and then after that, I got used to the trial system, and I think I was same after 15, going on 16, coming to the end. My PE teacher came in one day and said, right, I've had a club on the phone. They contacted the school, so that was it. The next day, I had another club. So I had 6 clubs lined up for the summer: West Brom, Villa, Bristol City, Oxford United.
Right.
They all wanted me to go and have trials.
So then you started getting used to doing trials, because it's like a singer. Sing in front of this mic, you've never done before. Your voice goes.
It's like us here. It's like us here.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, on a trial, you get the ball into your feet. What goes through your mind? I've got to do something good with this, right?
I mean, you kind of want to show off, but also they're looking for you how to play as a team member.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not so much. A little bit is to do what you're individually. So I had 6 weeks holiday, and I planned out. Okay, Oxford first week, Villa, then West Brom, and then City.
So
And
at
your
this
dad
point,
goes with you, your family goes with you.
No, I had to
support
go
you?
up on my own, and we were put into digs. You know, it's like me coming to live at your house,
Right,
and
yeah.
you'd look
So
after
but
me
your
for a week.
family was supporting you through all of this, because I mean, some families would turn around and say, you know, we want you to follow your education first, and then look at that. That's a priority. Or
I think my parents knew my path was the football side rather
Right.
than.
I mean, that's what was going to be my question. By this time, you got them all lined up. You were 100% committed to be a professional footballer.
I ate, slept, drink, football.
Went to bed with the ball,
Yeah.
did you?
No, I mean,
Like Beckham.
excuse me.
buy new boots. I would kind of take them upstairs and look at them and study them. And,
Of course, back then, I mean, you're not old or ancient, I'm not saying you are, but there's more out there now for people, like boots-wise. You probably didn't have much of a selection back then, did you?
I mean, there was none of these white, green, orange, or pink boots.
They're all
It was
black,
just-
were
It
they?
was just black.
Yeah,
old school boots.
I think they... Okay, well, we haven't talked about it yet. England under-21s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's up there, you know?
I think that's one of my greatest honours was being called up. But I was having a trial. I was playing a game, Oxford against Wolves. And Steve Ball, do you remember Steve Ball? When he used to play for Wolves and he was playing for England.
Yeah.
So I'm playing in the game.
Don't forget, I'm Scottish.
Oh, right, okay.
Never mind.
So I'm playing,
Got come from somewhere.
so I'm playing left back, and I'm having a dreadful game. So the physio comes up. You know, the physio comes on the pitch with the board. Back then, it was the physio who did the substitutions. So I'm looking up. I'm like, please let that be my number. So he holds up the number, not mine. I'm like, damn. Okay, so I continue playing.
Because you're having a...
Yeah, I'm having a mare. I'm having a complete nightmare. And then he does it again, second substitute. It's got to be me. So not my number again. So the third, this is the final substitution. So I'm thinking, please, it's got to be me. It's not me. So I'm like, right, I've got to play the rest of the game. So I finished the game. So Saturday, Sunday, go into morning for training. Somebody comes in and says, the gaffer wants you in his office. Oh, shit. What have I done? You know,
two ways. It could be, you know...
Yeah, so I'm thinking...
Don't think negative.
I was thinking the worst. And I go in and he said, you've been called up for the under-21s.
Oh, wow. My heart's... All the hairs are going here. Look at them.
So
look,
your mind are going,
how good is that?
Yeah.
Why?
And he said they were watching you at the Wolves against Wolves. And I was like, can't believe it.
Okay, well, hey, what can you say? But, so what was your first professional club that you played for?
Oxford United.
Oxford United. How long were you there for?
Well, I went from youth team to apprentice and then pro. I was there for, I think, pro 4 years, 6 years, probably about 8 years, including from schoolboy up to...
And what position were you playing towards the end there?
I think at 16, I decided, at 15, I went from left wing to centre back, and that's when I thought, right, this is my position.
What age were you then?
16.
All right, so you were still playing for under-21s England at the same time?
No, this was before I went to Oxford.
This is how he got noticed.
Yeah, this is how I got noticed. I didn't get noticed so much playing left wing. It was when I started to play centre back, and that's when clubs started knocking on the door.
Right.
So you went from Oxford United and then transferred to, or
I was on loan at Reading.
All right.
So yeah, I was kind of in and out of the team.
It's not sounding good.
No,
I went on loan.
So yeah, they loaned me out to Reading. I had 4 weeks. I had a great loan period, and they wanted to keep me on for another month. But it was the last game. We were playing Fulham, and it was a corner, and somebody went down on the back of my Achilles, and I was struggling to get to the end of the game, finish the game, and then Oxford recalled me back, and we were playing Southend, and I was on the physio table the whole week because I couldn't run, couldn't hardly walk.
That's a nasty injury.
I was so desperate to get into the first team, I would have played with one leg.
One leg,
yeah. So I had a fitness test on the Saturday morning, and I was given the green light to play against Southend, and that was Stan Collymore.
Yeah.
Big Stan. This is when he was like that £1 million kind of player.
He was one of the first,
Yeah. So I was marking him, and anyway, half time came, everything's fine. Went out second half, ball got played over my head, took 2 steps, and then my Achilles exploded.
Oh.
And then I was that desperate. The physio came on and said, "You got to come off and stretch it." And I was like, "No, let me play. I want to play." Stood up, collapsed, and he said, "Right, you got to go." So then they took me straight to the hospital.
See, the thing is with this, because we're time constricted, we could go on and on and on, but we do have to sort of maybe invite you back. So, what happened after your injury? What did you get injured again? Did you play again professionally, or
no? I got back fit and everything, and then we decided that it was at the end of my contract. They weren't going to renew my contract, so I had an offer from Hong Kong, and I remember talking to my coach, and then my coach said to me, he said, "Look, if you go to Hong Kong, you're out the shop window. You'll never get back into English football again." So I was young at the time, and I decided, well, what the hell, let's go for an adventure. And
so it was more like Hong Kong, far away. I've been there before. Yeah, am I really going to end up playing for Liverpool, or what's going to happen if I stayed here? Better alternative in a way, but still playing football.
Yeah, so
not a bad standard either.
No, I was playing in Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong, decided to go to Thailand, but. There's a good story behind that.
Okay, do you want to say it now? We're going to take a break after this bit, and go for it.
Yeah, so basically, I was playing in Hong Kong and had a really good first year, and at the end of the year, they wanted to sign me again, the team. But this other team wanted to sign me, so I didn't want to renew my contract with this team. So
was this Kowloon Wanderers?
This is Sing Tao, and then this team called Golden wanted to play. So I wanted to play for them. Anyway, the team that I wanted to play was the last game of the testimonial match. It was against Sampdoria. And Hullet, Lombardo, David Platt was playing for them. Yeah. But they wouldn't let me play in that game because I wouldn't sign my contract. So I missed that game. Anyway, the team that I wanted to go to play for, they ended up playing England in Hong Kong. Oh. So I missed the Sampdoria.
And played England. Good.
And I missed the England game.
Oh,
you remember when all that trouble with Ray Parlour and everybody was over? That was the game I should have been played in. But they wouldn't let me go and sign for that team. So anyway, in this period of time, I went back to England to play for Bath, and then I got called out to Finland to play for Mupa 47.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Anyway, Mupa 47 were in the Cup Winners' Cup back then, which is a Europa Cup now,
Yeah.
So they were in the second round of the draw. Anyway, I went back to Hong Kong, called me up and said, "Look, we want you to come back to this team." So I decided, okay, I asked the team from Mupa, "Can I go to Hong Kong?" They said, "Okay, you can go." So anyway, the draw was made for the second round of the Cup Winners' Cup. They drew Liverpool home and away. So I missed Sampdoria, I missed the England game, and I missed the Liverpool game. How's your luck?
No injuries though.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So what made you come to Thailand?
Came to the end of I got fed up with Hong Kong. I'd had enough of it, and I decided to. I met somebody in Hong Kong and followed her to Thailand.
All right, we're going to stop it there, take a short break, and then we'll come back with what life is like for you here in Thailand. We'll be back in just a moment on Bangkok Chit Chat Spotlight.
ChitChat Spotlight.
We've talked about your life prior to Thailand. Now let's get into, how did you get to Thailand? What was it?
Okay, so I followed I had a girlfriend at the time, followed her over to here and started to play for a couple of Thai football teams. But the money wasn't there. Bangkok Bank back then.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, there wasn't a Premier League then, was there?
No.
It wasn't called that.
No.
There was no big sponsorships going, I don't think.
No,
back
so I
then.
did a little bit of training and then I realised, okay, look, football's no good here. So I've always been wanted to be involved in coaching kids.
When was that? So
97's when I came, just before the handover.
Just before
Hong Kong
the
handover.
crash. Yeah,
Yeah,
timing.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You missed that again.
I was here for the crash.
Have you ever thought you're a bit of a jinx?
The money, the little money that I had, I brought here, put it into the bank, and a couple of months later, the crash. So if I would have waited a couple of months, I would have tripled my money.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, should we continue?
I've got a great title for this interview.
Worried about this just now.
Right, so here you are. You're not too impressed with the football system in Thailand, but you always interested in teaching with kids and that.
So there was no academies around. There was no coaching at all for
But
kids.
you don't like the word clinic, do you?
No,
Like football clinic.
It's kind of like it's academies now that we use, or
Yeah, because you said that off camera. I was
schools.
thinking football clinics are like hospitals.
that's what people think. Yeah,
Yeah, so academy.
I think
is much
clinics
better.
is very English. I think
Yeah, is
only
it?
English use it. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, sorry.
So yeah, so I decided, right, I was in a professional life, didn't know anything about the corporate world or how to set up. So I thought, right, I need to contact schools. So I decided to become a TA at a school, teacher's assistant.
Okay.
So I wanted to know the ins and outs of a school. So I worked one term. I was like, right, that's enough of that. And I knew how to contact people. Then I didn't know how to set up a company or, write letters or even interviews or call people. So I was in a pub and this guy offered me a job, and it was from his home selling engineering parts.
I never did.
Yeah. And then I was doing calls and everything. So I got the confidence that I'm like, if this guy can do it, I can do it. So I said, right, I've got a bit of experience of working in a company. I've got schools. I'll go and approach Nike.
For doing an academy.
Yeah.
And of course you've got the track record, ex-professional.
Yeah.
I mean, that means a lot out here. Well, it does. You don't have no, you don't. So sorry.
So I went to Nike and presented to them. And
Nike was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nike was the first one, and they said, yeah, loved it. They supported me with balls, equipment, T-shirts to give out to the kids.
Yeah, okay.
And then contacted the schools. It was one school at first, and then it was so hard to get into schools. And then
Not that they were doing anything on their own about football, were they?
no, they had their. I think
in the curriculum.
They didn't have it back then. They didn't have activities for children after school, and then it was I was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
So that one school, NIS was the very first one, and then it snowballed from there. It went 2 schools, 3 schools, and it became.
And the name
really
of your
well.
academy is called, which I think is a great name.
Can You Kick It?
Can You Kick It? All one word. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Can You Kick It Academy. It's great.
So this is just purely international schools, not the Thai schools, just
No,
international schools.
I mean we've tried to get into the Thai schools, and it was just impossible.
And
for us
what
to
age
go.
were you accepting people in? Quite young, right?
Yeah, it was kind of year 1, which is kind of like 6 years old. We were starting from and going all the way up to 16.
I remember going to one of yours because my son actually did play with that academy, and you were very good. It wasn't so much football, was it? It was a lot more than just football. It was you were the one who taught me the word numpty. When someone trip over a ball, you numpty. But the kids loved you, and there seemed to be a social, interactive thing going on there.
I think
other than football, I think half the kids didn't really care if they played well or not. They just wanted to be part of it. That's what I felt.
I think I have the relationship. It's friends. First of all, we break all the barriers down. It's not teacher or anything. It's that we're friends, and obviously they know my background, so they respect me in that way. But they know that I'm passionate and I'm hardworking and that I care, and they catch on to it.
How much has it changed the academies from then and now?
I mean, there's a little
more of them, obviously.
I mean, it's saturated now. The market's saturated. They're everywhere. There's some good ones out there. There's some, not so good ones. But
well, we're not going to name any of them
no,
because
but
we're only interested.
I think coaching as a whole, it's got much better.
All right, and then where are you now with Can You Kick It Academy? Where is that?
I mean, Can You Kick It's still going, but for the
Where
past,
is it?
It's at Polo Football Park near
okay.
Lumpini.
So same thing as before with NIST.
We're there on weekends, but then we also go to other schools as well to after-school activities.
Yeah, I must admit, with my daughter when she was at one of the international schools. I watched it was a girl. She was in the girls' team, yeah, and it was very competitive. Some really good players, yeah. But I remember one time when they were playing, and this girl fouled a girl, and she was about to score a goal. She actually stopped. And she turned around and said, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, so
and you look at it and you go, "What are you doing? Score the goal!"
Girls' football is on the rise here in Bangkok.
Well, this is what I mean. I think we can answer.
Yeah,
we
I think so.
We can address that now,
it's good to see.
because I was saying to you, what's it like the kids now playing as opposed to back in the day when you first started? And you said that the boys seem to be losing.
I think the boys is kind of on the decline. There's not so many stars. When I first started, there were some really good football players. But I think that's down to I don't know, maybe too many interests in social media and gaming and things
but
like that.
women,
male and female?
Female is on the rise.
You see?
I don't know.
I think it is worldwide, actually.
I think now there's more attention being made to girls, and it's more even.
Whereas I think it's also due to political.
Whereas back in the day you thought football is boys only, but now it's, you know...
Manchester United have just got one.
Yeah,
what was the question I was going to ask? Completely. Can you ask him one while I think of the other one?
So with the schools, they actually have for the international schools, and I'm not sure about the Thai schools, I'm sure they do. Do they have a league where they're all playing each other? And
we have a conference. It's called BISAC, which is all the Bangkok international schools. So they'll have, but it's over seasons. They'll have football season, basketball, tennis, swimming, all sports.
What countries have you taken your teams to?
Shanghai, Beijing, Malaysia.
What an experience! The parents come along as well, I guess.
Yeah,
some of them
we've had some good days.
I bet you
good
have.
trips out.
I'm going to let you.
And it's a mix. It's a mix of Thai, Farang, and
yes.
What I see is everybody really comes together. There's no sort of separation.
I went on one. I think it was to Brunei. We went. It was a World Cup as well. Remember? And you went off and took the kids to the cinema while we stayed in the bar and watched the football game. Yeah. Switzerland, I think, against England, if I remember rightly.
I don't remember the game, but I remember.
And I said, "What a lad!" Because I knew he loved football. And he took the kids to the cinema, so that's how dedicated you are. But yeah, the families all got together, the dads, and we had a few drinks, and on the touchline in the, I thoroughly enjoyed it as a parent.
I remember the kid. My dad was always busy, and when he came along to one of the events, it was so great to have your dad, or your mom, or somebody along there supporting as a family. And I used to go and watch my daughter occasionally, when she was playing. And he came out with this great feeling of pride. Whether they were good or not didn't matter. The fact was they were doing their best. It really is important. And I think maybe some of that's lacking now. Because people just don't have a lot of time, or maybe I'm wrong.
I think kids nowadays don't want their parents around the pitch.
Really?
And that's so sad as a parent.
I mean, I have a daughter who's 13 and she plays football, but I will be watching her until she stops playing sports. So
you remember?
So if you're watching, I don't really care what you say.
when my son went to his clinic, that's how I got to know Darren. Well, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I might as well because it's a good story. I took my son. He must have been 2 or 3 years with you already, and he was about 8 or 9 by then, and he insisted on just being dropped off and me driving off. So I used to drive off, park the car, and hide behind the sheds to look at. Because if he saw me, he Dad. Because he's got his mates. He doesn't want to have anything to do with Dad there. And so sad for the dad that is, so wants to get involved. Yeah. And I was hiding behind.
I think, you have to cherish these moments. It's golden time because when they grow up, that's it, they're gone.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think you embrace this time that you can.
Absolutely.
Right, well then, we can't get away from this question. You are head of football at Harrow International School.
Yes.
Are there any other heads of football at any other international schools in Thailand?
No.
That's my first question.
There's one school just opened up now, a football academy, which is similar to what we're doing. I think people are going to start to do what we're doing at Harrow. All
right, so you're the leaders in it. So Harrow are taking football seriously, basically.
Yeah, I think it's
more seriously. Well, they have a head of rugby.
They have a head of swimming. They have a head of the tennis academy, gymnastics academy. So they're trying to create the all-rounded student.
All right, this question is not on the list, and if you can't answer it, don't worry.
Right.
What is the most popular sport for kids in schools? And don't say gaming.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's football.
It's football.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
old tune.
It's still going. Match of the day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely football.
All right. Final question. I could go on forever. I find it so interesting. What's the future for Can You Kick It and for Darren Jackson? And for, yeah, that's enough.
I think Can You Kick It will stay as it is.
You have helpers, right?
Yeah.
You have trainers and...
Still coaching at the schools, but I think...
Do you coach everyone? Or you
No, I'm just solely based at Harrow. I just coach the kids at Harrow. And I enjoy that because you have these group of kids all year round. You don't have other teams coming to poach your kids or other players telling them to go. I have a group of kids that I can develop all year round. And
you
we're seeing...
you can send them to your academy.
I don't send them to my academy. I keep them completely separate.
Totally
right,
different.
okay.
Totally
Yeah.
different. So you see that carrying on as is. What about you? Do you have any aspirations of wanting to do something else or something bigger? Or
I'd like to go to another country.
really?
Yeah. And also I kind of think of...
Which country? Japan?
I don't know, maybe Japan, Singapore. Yeah.
Doing the academies, or would you be interested in going coaching a team within the Thai league or one of the other country leagues?
You got your badges?
I think what I would do is I wouldn't get on with the Thai mentality here. I'm quite...
In what way?
I'm quite passionate on the sidelines, and I think if
Yeah.
I'm too passionate, it would come across aggressive. And the Thai mentality kind of is very kind of laid back, and they don't accept. I think that's why a lot of foreigners.
Experience, or that's
I think that's why a lot of foreigners, when they come out here, the coaches, and I know some of their personalities, and I know that they don't get on.
I remember watching Manchester United when they were here in the stadium, and I'm surrounded by Man United fans, but they're all Thai. So I shouted, "Come on, United!" like really loud, as you would.
Yeah.
And the whole stadium, definitely everywhere around me,
Yeah.
oh, flying United, because you have that thing. The Thais, I'm not saying they're wrong, but they don't express.
I think you have to.
I'm not sure.
At Thai boxing, they do.
Matches,
They scream, don't
No.
they?
And they've got the all the horns and things. And they do.
I'm not saying that they're not passionate. I'm saying that they are passionate as the way that you talk to them and how you get your.
So you don't think
method.
your demeanour would fit
Yes.
what was expected?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to be a bit more softly spoken to them, and I don't know. This is kind of my kind of.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because actually what makes me smile is on Thai international matches, they sound more like the women are screaming when someone gets near the goal. It's ah, like, whereas a bloke in England is whoa, come on, you know. We were talking about that. And also I think they enjoy the moment. The Thais, they enjoy the whole occasion. They've got their scarves, they've got those things.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're
well, we used to have
passionate,
the old rattles in the old days, but that's all gone.
Really?
Yeah, remember that old wooden rattle?
That's before my time.
Really?
Yeah,
as well.
sorry.
Oh, it's a bit, my granddad used to tell me.
I was more the digital area.
Oh yeah, car horns, huh? Don't you remember
No.
You don't remember the wooden rattles?
I've seen them in magazines, black and white magazines.
Black and white. Darren, that's it. I'm cutting it here. We've had enough. You can go off, people. You know. Darren, it's been great talking to you. Really, is there anything else you'd like to say before?
No, just
before we
thank you
wrap
for
it up?
having me. I've had a great time.
Yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed it as well. Darren Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, there we are. That was Spotlight with Darren Jackson. I found that interesting. Hope you do as well. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We need some more subscriptions. And on Facebook, like and share. And we'll see you next week on Bangkok Chit Chat. Bye for now.